Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Sentimental Stitches. I am your yarn host Jennifer and today is Wednesday. And actually it's Monday, but you guys know I pre-record a bunch of my videos so that, you know, throughout the week I can edit them and upload them. Today it's taken us to Walmart. Now. This was not my normal Walmart. We had to go to a different Walmart. And story time. The reason we had to go to a different Walmart is because, okay, we know that little man has ADHD. He has a pretty strong case of ADHD. I don't want to say severe because, like, but it's intense. He is on he's on a medication to help him to control it because without it, he is a raving lunatic. Seriously though, he's like the spawn of Satan without his medication. And not to really talk about his medication or like his personal issues or whatever, but he was out. And because of the type of medication it's on, you can only refill it at certain times. It has to have doctor approval. There's like all these rules because of this medication. And with reason, because people do abuse medications, you know. But because of that, we have to wait until he's almost out and then try to get it refilled. And it's like this whole thing. Well, we called to get it refilled and we get this call back from Walmart. And it was like the pharmacy tech. I don't even think she was like a tech. She may have just been somebody who was working the front desk because the woman sounded... I can't even explain what she sounded like. She had no clue what she was talking about. Someone is talking to her, telling her what to say. And she's stumbling over her words and she's not making a whole lot of common sense. Like, I was frustrated. I wasn't even on the phone call with this woman. Mr. Sentimental was trying to talk to her and like, it was utter gibberish that was coming out of her mouth. And so he's already frustrated because he's like, what are you talking about? She's talking about something about the medication that we got last month. Insurance never covered it. Walmart don't give you medication unless you pay for it, so that didn't make any sense, right? Like, the pharmacy don't give you medicine for free. I wish, but come on, that's not how that works. And so, there's all this just confusion about this medication, right? And apparently, there's the name brand of the medication, and there's like 4 or 5 different generics of it. The name brand is back ordered countrywide. It's hard. There's shortages of this specific medication, but there are the generic versions available, which is apparently what he got last month, and what the pharmacist got on the phone and actually ended up telling us is the one that he got last month, they're out of, or the insurance didn't cover it, and it was like $800. Stress, right? Luckily, my husband is a smart man. Okay, so he's like, okay, she's all, your options are, you need to call the pharmacies around the area and see if anyone else has it. Because I'm telling you, Walmart's not going to have this with the pharmacist. She was nice, but it was very high stress situation because he still has to go to school. And if he has to go to school without his medication, I start getting phone calls from the principal because he can't sit down or he can't stop moving or he's loud and he's making these weird chirping noises and like he hit someone. I never know what's going to happen, right? He has hit someone one time. He got in severe trouble by me and like he has not done it since, and that was like 2 years ago. That was pre-medication, okay? But like the idea of sending him, like, I can deal with him crazy, but like having someone else try to deal with him crazy, and I already don't like his teacher. Like, there's all this issue, okay? I know you guys came to hear yarn, but you're hearing stories, right? Because that's how we roll on Sentimental Stitches. So, all of this, we need to call, but because of the type of medication it is, there's chances are the pharmacist ain't going to tell you whether they have it in stock anyway. Because... or we can call the doctor. It's almost closing time at this point for the doctor's office. We got half an hour left. We call the doctor and to see what the doctor could do. Well, the nurse answered the phone. She goes, And yeah, we got a hold of the nurse's line. She's like, well, his doctor's not in today, so there's nothing we can do for you. Because the other doctors aren't going to help you because of the type of medication it is. He's like, can you at least ask? Like, she didn't want to deal with it. She wanted to go home. You could tell. She's ready to go home. She don't care. She don't care about your child. She don't care about what your problem is. So, and I was like, hey, what about like, what is it called? MedRx or something like that. It's a discount program. It's free for you to sign up with, and it will help offset some of the cost of pharmacy stuff. You can also contact the medication distributor, the person who made the medication. And a lot of times they'll have like coupons or like cards to help you save money on those prescriptions, at least here in the United States. We have had to use that. And even though we have really good health insurance, there's some stuff that's just not covered because the medication companies are just charging way, way too much for the stuff, right? So, call the doctor. She's like, well, we'll see, and I'll ask, and I'm not promising anything, right? And I'm like, it's 20 minutes from closing time. We are not going to hear back from this doctor. So I was like, what about MedRx or whatever it's called? And he looked it up, and the $800 medication was $35. How that's possible? Not a clue. How they can do that, like, that gets into a whole political thing, and like, I don't do that on this channel, but like, I was so irate. I'm frustrated listening to him deal with these people. I'm just stressed out, and I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna have to be home from school tomorrow. There's no way I can send him to school without his medication, and then I have to deal with it, and like, it can be really stressful. I love my child, but he can be so out of hand sometimes because he just cannot control what's happening in his brain. And he gets frustrated, and then he doesn't know how to express himself properly. So it's like this whole thing. It is so stressful. And so, you know, my anxiety is going. I'm stressed out. So finally, he calls back the original people. He's like, okay, you can fill the 800 number or the $800 one because with MedRx, it's like $35. She's okay, well, we'll go ahead and do that. And so I got a thing on my phone that said, yeah, like, your prescription's ready. I was like, relief, right? And then come to find out, the doctor actually called the other Walmart who actually had it in stock. Thank goodness. We had the it was like this whole thing. The pharmacist from our Walmart had called this other Walmart and actually found out for us that they had that one in stock over there. And then the doctor had to call, and like, there was all these things that was happening. So we ended up getting 2 prescriptions at 2 different Walmarts filled within about a half an hour of each other. One was covered by insurance except for $10. Another one was $35 for a different generic brand or something like that. And so I was like, okay, well, let's call the first Walmart and let her know that they can cancel that prescription because we're set over here. Like, that Walmart's got us covered. The doctor called, the doctor actually called it in. Whoever doctor was working at the time actually called the other Walmart for us to get the prescription over at that Walmart, which was a godsend. So we go to Walmart. It's like 8 o'clock at night just so that he has his one tiny little pill the next day. And this Walmart, this other Walmart, I know for a fact they have way more yarn than my Walmart has. They don't have a lot, but they have way more, right? So I'm like, well, let's go peruse the aisles. I'm going to de-stress by looking at some yarn and squishing some yarn. And I bought a couple, but I didn't spend very much because, like, I just didn't. Okay? Now, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 little skeins of yarn. Cost me all of 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. About $18 for 5 skeins of yarn at Walmart. That's a pretty good deal, if I do say so myself. Now, we were looking at, I think, Valentine's Day stuff first, and then Juju wanted to look at, oh, I also needed to get curtain rods for this window. So these were only like $10. They got a big old blingy bling bling on the end. And this is the type of curtain rod I wanted, where it's like a round rod and it's got these type of hooks to hold the rod up like that. So this is what I wanted. What are these called? Decorative curtain rod. I don't know what kind of curtain rod these are, but anyway, it's got like a big old sparkle. So I thought that would be fancy for my office. So I bought 2 of those. And like I said, those were only $10. And then I went and bought some yarn. But Juju they also had really pretty beads at this Walmart. And our Walmart doesn't have beads. So she was like, oh, Mom, look. And they were the really nice heavy duty, like crystally beads that you get at Joann's or Michael's or like the bead shops, you know. So she was very excited and she didn't have any money. I was like, you know what? I'm going to give you $20 and then you can buy your beads. But like, you got to do something for me later on, you know. Which she always does. Like she whatever I ask her, she does. Without question. You know, so first thing I bought was some Serenity Chunky from Premier, and this was, I want to say it was like $6 for this big giant ball of yarn. This is a bulky number 5. It's 328 yards. Machine wash, warm, gentle, cycle, tumble dry, low. I love Serenity. I have, I don't know if you can see this bottom shelf down here behind the baskets. There is some Serenity down there. The purpley marled one and the blue marled one down there is Serenity Chunky. But I also have some AC Moore yarn that goes really well with the Serenity. And so it's like this big white ball. And you guys know I don't buy whites. I don't buy blacks. I don't buy a lot of neutrals. I was like, this is so that I can make something with probably the navy blue yarn down there or something. Because I want to make Sandy from Crochet A's Jacob's Ladder blanket, which is, she's doing, I've mentioned this many times, she's doing, for the first 3 months of the year, she's doing Jacob Ladder type projects. She just did a pillow. She did the tutorial on how you can create the blanket, which I already knew, but her blanket is a little bit different than the other ways I've seen Jacob's Ladder done. So I'm really excited to do it her way. And so it was weird because I was watching Sandy's video and I'm watching her crochet, and I remember watching my mom crochet. She stopped crocheting when I was like, I think the last thing I saw her crochet was my godson's blankets. And I think I was like 16. I think I was like 16 or 17. So I don't have really strong memories of watching her crochet. But I was watching Sandy crochet, and Sandy likes furls hooks. She likes these, the furl streamlines, which they're really good hooks. I really like them. But I just prefer the Omi a little better. And she pencil grips, and the way that she was crocheting, aside from the way she holds her yarn, because my mom would hold her yarn the way I hold my yarn, Sandy's hands, watching Sandy's hands reminded me so much of my mom. I actually had to turn the video off because it was making me want to cry. And it was like I was watching my mom crochet. And so I was like, okay, I got the gist of the pattern. I got to turn this video off because I'm going to lose it. Because my mom had a lot of issues. Like, I adored her, you know. She was not a perfect woman. But, yeah. So I was like, my mom must have pencil gripped. Which I kind of remember as a child trying to crochet that way. And I know how to do it, but like it never came easy to me. So I think I just crochet different than my mom did, which is fine. But like it was bringing back some memories. So I got this big giant squish ball, and then I'm standing there looking at the Mainstay. I like Mainstay. Mainstay is Walmart's brand. I like some of their Mainstay. Mainstay is very much like Red Heart Super Saver in the fact that some of the colors are soft and some of them feel like sandpaper. And so there was a lot of colors of Mainstay, and my store they have mostly Red Heart Super Saver, and they will have a couple of the Premier yarns. Walmart mostly has Serenity, the Bloom Chunky Big Balls, and the Puzzle yarn. Those are the 3 yarns that Walmart carries at almost every Walmart I've ever been to. But the the mainstay, it's like hit or miss. And sometimes you got to flip it over and see where it was created. See, this one was in Turkey. This one was in India. Turkey. India. Some of them are made in China. So their different yarn bases come from different countries. And depending on what country, like the China version is terrible. Like I can't even touch it. It's bad. But the India and the Turkey are not so bad. So like I do the field test to see if I can use that version of mainstay. And they had some solid colors on the shelf. And they had beautiful yellow, pink, like hot pink, and a turquoise. And you guys know I was showing you guys last week I bought turquoise and yellow to go together, and I was going to buy some more, and I couldn't touch it. It was just too yucky feeling. But I saw this. My phone is so busy today. I saw this, and it's not really showing up. It's like a rosy color with glitter. The color is Rose Fume. I don't know why it's Fume. This has the Okotex Standard 100 on there. When it has the Okotex Standard label on it, it means that it's safe from 100 plus harmful substances that can cause skin irritation or, like, in some instances, cancers. But I don't think, like, yarn has ever been proven to give cancer, but, like, the chemicals that could be used in creating this could cause, you know. So it's safe. It's safe against skin. It's safe for all kinds of things. Let's see. The Mainstay Sparkle acrylic yarn is 251 yards. It is a medium number 4. It is 98% acrylic, 2% metallic, machine wash, do not bleach, do not tumble dry, dry flat, do not iron, do not dry clean. Recommends a 5.5 millimeter hook or 5 millimeter knitting needles. And yeah, that is really blowing that out. There we go. It's a really pretty rosy color, and actually it's showing up. See, the light changes the color of it. I guess that's as accurate as we can get. It's a beautiful rosy, like a muted rose color with sparkles. And the sparkles are a pretty pinky rosy color. But I'm guessing that's about accurate. Alright, now we're going to turn the light back up. I think it's beautiful, and I was like drawn to it. It almost reminds me of rose gold. And so rose gold would be a much more appropriate name. But that's what it reminded me of. And I was like drawn to it. I was like, that's so pretty. And it was only $2.88 a ball. So I grabbed that. And then they also had purple. And this reminds me a lot of, I don't know if I still have it. I do, hang on. Hobby Lobby yarn. Hobby Lobby, yeah. This is Hobby Lobby. This is Walmart. They are, this one's obviously a darker purple. This one's still purple, but it's looking kind of blue in the screen because of the weird light. But yeah, they look and feel identical. Actually, the mainstay is a little bit softer. Ironically enough. Let's see, where's this yarn coming from? So this is the same specs as the rose gold one. So I'm just reading the Hobby Lobby thing. Hobby Lobby does not tell, oh, made in Turkey. They're both made in Turkey, possibly at the same mill. Let's be real. This one's called Lavender Sparkle. The one from Walmart is called Sweet Violet. They are both about 252 yards because the Walmart yarn says 251.53 yards and the Hobby Lobby one says 252 yards. They are the same fiber content, which is 97 acrylic, 3% metallic polyester. Yeah, so those probably could, hang on. So we got Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Walmart. I don't know if they necessarily would go together, but like, I mean, they probably could. So yeah, that's very similar. So it's like purple with a opalescent metallic thread. Let's turn that light off and see if that helps. That didn't help at all. A little bit. That's very, very accurate. Let me cover the window. Cover the window. There we go. That's accurate. So this is the Hobby Lobby one. Focus on this one. Come on. There we go. Practically the same yarn. Bam! I can see the light. All right. Moving right along. Now you guys know, last week I showed you this mainstay yarn, and I used this to make, or actually I showed you this Monday. I used this one to make a Valentine's blanket I made, the Jacob's Ladder one. So I used this, and this one is the color Pink Multi. But they also had this one, and they had this one. And so I really like this yarn. This yarn is soft, and this is the one that's made in India. This worked up really good. I liked working with it. It's a good quality value yarn. These were all $2.88. And these are 100% acrylic, 285 yards. Machine wash, tumble dry. Washing in water not exceeding 104 degrees Fahrenheit on a delicate setting. Do not bleach. Tumble dry on low heat at delicate setting. Do not iron. Do not press. Do not dry clean. Okay. These are very... I like working with these yarns. I like these yarns. They're good yarns. So this one is the color Purple Multi. And I'm guessing this one is Blue Multi. Let's see. Yep. So it's that same style of yarn. It's just a variegated. I liked it. So that's why I bought it at Walmart. All because I had all the problems trying to get little man's medication. But I'm going to throw the Hobby Lobby yarn in here until I have time to go put it on the shelf. I had a good time though. And sometimes, like when I'm stressed out like that, I use that as a very good excuse to just buy myself something small, you know? Some curtain rods, a little bit of yarn, it's all good. We'll have a nice day. And then like when I was buying the yarn, I was feeling happy and joyous because yarn does that for me. It makes me happy, it makes me joyous. And then when I got his medications filled and we were able to walk out of the store with those things, I felt so much relief. Like I just felt like the weight was lifted off my shoulders, like everything's gonna be okay. We can de-stress a little bit. But yeah. So that Walmart, they actually, because on my Walmart, they have the craft aisles that are like normal aisles at the store. And ours used to be both sides would have yarn. And then gradually it was only one side of the aisle had yarn. And now only a quarter of that aisle, and it's the shorter aisles. Only a quarter of that yarn, or aisle, is yarn. And I have said this before, I have more yarn in this room than Walmart has on their shelves at my local store. I know this for a fact. I counted. No, I didn't. But like, seriously, like their yarn section is as big as two of my bookshelves. It's tiny. And so when we went to this other Walmart, they actually took the yarn out of the aisle and put it on that back wall. And they had more at that store than I have. And a lot of it was Red Heart Super Saver. And if you love Red Heart Super Saver, that's fantastic, you know. But personally, I have a really hard time working with Red Heart Super Saver to where it actually rips my skin open. Just because I have skin conditions, I have issues with my flesh, you know. I just stay away from Red Heart Super Saver. I love Red Heart with love. I love Red Heart Soft. Like, I love all the other Red Hearts. Super Saver I can't use. Although I can use the Super Saver brushed. I can use the there was another Super Saver I could use. But like the basic, it's hit or miss whether I can use it or not. Some of them are soft, some of them rip my skin right open. So with that, yeah, this Walmart was way better than my Walmart. Like I said, they had Red Hearts, a lot of Red Heart Super Saver. They had way more of the mainstay than any other store in this area has had. And then they have they had a bunch of mandala cakes of different variety. And then they had a bunch of cotton. They even had the Mainstay Cotton and the Mainstay Anti-Pilling, which both are really good yarns. So don't sleep on the Walmart yarns. The Mainstay is pretty good. Just make sure you feel it before you take it home, because some of it is like the Mainstay from China is terrible. It's terrible. So I'm gonna let you go. I hope you enjoyed story time and yarn day. And tomorrow is pee out, and I have not figured that out yet, so I may film that on a different day. Friday. What are we doing Friday? I went back to the big Joann's. I didn't buy a whole lot, but like, I want to talk to you guys about that. So Friday, tune in for more yarn and fabric yumminess. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.